Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Probably Plays YouTube channel. Today is Sunday, September 1st. We have officially made it to the month of September. Normally, the start of September would mean the start of some NFL action, but we have a couple more days to wait on that. We have ourselves, though, a standalone game tonight in college football. Two really good programs going head-to-head. It's going to be LSU Tigers going on the road to face off against the USC Trojans. One total game pick, best player prop of the day towards the end of the video. Hope everybody has a great Sunday, and let's break down some ball. All right, guys, let's take a look at this graphic recap from Saturday. I am exhausted. 10:27 p.m., right after the Notre Dame game. Body wasn't ready for the full slate of Saturday, and then next weekend, we've got the full slate of Sunday. So not going to be ready for that. Pretty good day here, though. 6-0 on the game picks, exactly what we wanted. 0-2 on the player props. I'll start there. Damian Martinez had a really good first half for Miami. Didn't really see him in the second half. I don't know what they were doing. Maybe just trying to mix and match. They were kicking the crap out of Florida, so didn't really matter who they had in the game. Thought maybe late in the game he was going to get in. They gave him a couple red zone touches in the last two drives, but he wasn't able to get in. Then Carson Beck, this was more of a flyer, over 2.5 passing touchdowns, plus 255 against Clemson. He did have himself two touchdowns, but Georgia in the red zone, they ran the ball more than they passed. So both losers there on the player props. We did go 6-0 here in the game picks. I'm going to break down all these games. Penn State minus 7.5 against West Virginia. Penn State in the first quarter looked like Penn State last season. Then Drew Aller settled himself in, had a really good passes. I think he had 4 touchdowns maybe in the third quarter, and then Penn State just stepped on their neck after that. A little bit of a rain delay. Didn't really matter. West Virginia, they put up a fight in the first quarter. Nothing after that. Georgia, minus 10.5. Really good game in the first half. Clemson and Georgia's defense battling each other out. And then I think the Clemson defense just gave up because the offense couldn't do anything. Cade Klubnik was horrible in this game. Shouldn't really be too, judgmental on him, I guess I could say, because he is going up against the Georgia defense, but he needs to improve for Clemson to be better. Georgia in the second half, I don't think they win a possession without scoring a touchdown. They stomped on Clemson. Miami minus 2.5. This was the easiest bet of the day, minus 2.5. Miami stomped on Florida. And really, after the Penn State game and after the Georgia game, I was so exhausted. I'm glad Miami was a no-sweat bet. Vanderbilt was early as well, plus 13.5. Diego Pavia, I told you the name. Remember the name. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. They did beat Virginia Tech, taking that upset. And then the Northwestern of Miami, Ohio, under 40.5 points. That was the easiest bet ever. 3-3 at the half. Basically, Big Ten football. If you put Miami, Ohio in the Big Ten right now, you would not tell the difference. Notre Dame, plus 3 against Texas A&M. Went into Kyle Field, got the job done, 23-13. Riley Green, second half, a lot better. Notre Dame as a unit kind of looked like Notre Dame last season. Hopefully, Riley Green settled himself into that offense. A couple young guys up front, had a lot of penalties tonight, but Notre Dame overall, they look pretty good. Texas A&M, they're going to be a good team too. So two really good teams battling out on Saturday night, but we did get the 6-0 sweep. Here as they look at the leaderboard, 6-0 yesterday, 0-2 on the player props, 10-6 year to date. Let's take a look, though, at this standalone game on Sunday night. We're going to be looking at LSU going on the road to face off against USC. Both of these teams last year were pretty good. I would say LSU is probably the better team, even though USC had Caleb Williams, who is the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Obviously, it looks like he's going to be the real deal at the NFL level. The problem with both of these programs, though, is that they have to replace the number 1 pick in Caleb Williams and the number 2 pick in Jaden Daniels. USC, I believe, doesn't have a problem at all because they're going to have the young man Miller Moss coming into the starting role for Caleb Williams. If you remember last season, he got himself a couple opportunities, especially in the bowl game for USC going up against Louisville. In that game against Louisville, he had a pretty normal start for a backup quarterback. 372 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, one heck of a game by him. They did beat Louisville 42-28. That was a really impressive game for him, but he is going to have to do a lot more work this season because USC, they lost nearly all their production at the wide receiver position. They only have 5 returning starters on the offensive side of the ball. Good news for Moss is that 3 of those 5 are on the starting offensive line. We know the numbers for the Trojans last season, but this season it could be a completely different team. The offense is going to look completely different. The defense hopefully looks completely different. Sometimes, though, for the good offense, all it takes is a good quarterback. We saw that with Vanderbilt. I know Vanderbilt's got some good players, but Diego Pavia, he carried that team yesterday with a little bit of help from his defense. The defense last year for the Trojans, disaster. They were the laughingstock of college football. It doesn't look like they're going to get any better this season. They are returning 4 stars on the defensive side, but with the way they played last year, they might just want to take a crack at 11 new guys on the other side. For the LSU Tigers, it is the end of Jaden Daniels, the beginning of Garrett Nussmeier. And I really hope I pronounced that right. Last name kind of weird, but he's kind of like a Miller Moss. He's been around the team for a couple years now. He's had a couple opportunities over the past couple years. Last season, only threw the ball 33 times, 196 yards, 1 touchdown. Much like USC, LSU is going to try to rebuild the wide receiver core this season. They lost Malik Neighbors. He went to the Giants. They also lost Brian Thompson. He was the number 2 in that offense. So I think the big impact in this game for the Tigers is going to be their guys up front. They do have 4 returning starting offensive linemen from last year, and that could be the difference in this game. Whoever wins this one at the end, as everybody knows, as I've said before, the game is usually one of the trenches. I do like the Tigers hold the advantage on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, up front with the big boys. I will not be taking a side in this game because the only thing that I know from last season about these two teams is that they both don't play defense. And I also know that both of these offense over the last couple seasons have been very productive, scoring 40-plus points a game. So we're going to take the over here, 64.5 points as the play. Again, I think Miller for USC, the quarterback, he's going to be really good this season. Not entirely sure about Garrett and the Tigers, but I do think with the players around him, he's going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be kind of a one-man show for Miller trying to find his open receivers, and I do think both of these teams will be able to go down the field on each other. I like the over here in the standalone game. Always fun to root for the over. 64.5 points as the play. I am going to take the Tigers, though, to edge out USC here. 37-34 final score. Tigers get the win on the road. Let's go over to the player prop. For the player prop today, short, sweet, and to the point. I've got a lot of expectation for the new quarterback for the Trojans. I'm going to take him here over 2.5 passing touchdowns. This is going to be plus 118 if you're looking at a sports book. I'm not entirely sure what it's going to be on PrizePicks yet, but we at least have one game to go off. A full game last season and a bowl game for Miller Moss. Louisville defense last season, they were pretty good. I know they sat some of their guys in that bowl game, but Miller Moss carved them up. The numbers in that one, again, over 350 yards passing, 6 touchdowns. They put up 42 points. Not entirely sure if he's going to be able to do that in this game, but ask him to have 3 touchdowns going up against this LSU Tigers defense who struggled severely last season. I don't think that's too much to ask for in a high-scoring game. I'm going to take him here, over 2.5 passing touchdowns as the play. But let's go over to the recap graphic. Not a whole lot to look at. We're going to take the over, 64.5 points. If you're looking for a side, I think it's going to be a close game. I think LSU is going to win. USC is probably going to cover the 4.5. I think the only value you have in this game is to take USC on the money line. I think it's going to be a close game. I wouldn't lay the 4.5 with LSU. I think both these teams are pretty evenly matched. Miller Moss, over 2.5 passing touchdowns, plus 118 against LSU as the player prop there. Guys, it's going to do it for NCAA football plays and props for Sunday, September 1st slate of games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please sure to drop a like in this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.